Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I am Sam Allman.
I am Epsi Sarivan.
And I'm Desert Stream.
And today we will be finishing out our discussion of Blue Reflection for the PlayStation 4 and PC. But before we get to all of the associated feelings about that, how was everyone's week?
My week was pretty interesting. This was my first week fully taking calls for my job. And I have officially transitioned to full work from home.
That's nice.
So I had to completely, essentially dismantle my gaming setup and somehow fit my work setup into the same desk.
Yeah. That's why I bought 2 desks when I moved, because sharing a desk between a work environment and a gaming environment was not fun at my old place.
Yeah, my week has been not incredibly eventful.
Any more theater productions get canceled by COVID this week?
Not yet. I have a few coming up, but we'll see.
Oh, speaking of theater, me and my roommates booked tickets to go see Spider-Man in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Ooh.
I really want to see it, but I still am not comfortable doing anything in public in COVID times. So
that is entirely fair.
So maybe there's a chance I will take time off of work to go see it like 2 weeks after it's out on a Wednesday at 10:30 in the morning, because I know I will be the only goddamn person there. Because I also live in the middle of frickin' nowhere. I mean, I live in the second biggest city in the state, but that state is Wisconsin, so I live in the middle of nowhere. So I know it won't be super busy anyways. So if I time it just right, I could do that, or potentially find a drive-in that's doing it, because up here in the north, the sun sets at 4:00 in the afternoon, so I could go and see a nighttime showing of it with my daughter, whose bedtime is at 7, and who also loves Spider-Man as much as me, and we could see it in a drive-in somewhere. But I might also just wait for home video release.
Right. Yeah, we're going release day at 10:30 at night.
Yeah, you're a stronger person than I am.
Mostly because my one roommate has already threatened physical harm to anybody who spoils the movie for him. Jokingly, of course.
Yeah.
And also because by that point I will be transitioning to my new work schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't be getting out of work until 6:30 in the evening.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Speaking of not wanting to do things because I'm not comfortable with COVID, I got my booster shot this week because I was going to be getting it on Sunday, but on Wednesday this week, was that Wednesday? Or that was Tuesday. So on Tuesday, they called me and they're like, hey, you were scheduled to come in on Sunday, but we have an opening tonight. Do you want to come in and get it? And I was like, absolutely. And this works out perfect because when I got my first COVID shot, I got it early in the morning. And then by the time we were supposed to record the podcast that night, I was feverish and sick and I couldn't sit up straight. So we had to cancel the podcast. That was like 8 hours later. So if I get it right after work at 4:30, then 8 hours later will be like at night, and like I can be sick in my sleep. I don't give a shit. I'm not awake. You're not ruining my plans. I was just going to be sleeping through it. So then I'll be asleep and everything will line up great. It'll be awesome. Except the booster shot plus the flu shot because I got them both at the same time.
Oh,
By our powers combined, Captain planted it in my body to fuck me up for over 24 hours straight. And I started feeling shitty at about like 10:30 at night, the night that I got it, and my fever broke overnight. Not that night, but the night after. So it was 24 straight hours of just yucky feeling, and it was bad. And
yeah.
I didn't take time off work because I work from home. So what I did is I turned the notifications up really loud for incoming tickets. Had my laptop on top of my desk. I curled into a ball under my desk, and I sat there and dealt with it. And then when a ticket would come in, I would get up and I would respond to it. And I had the PTO to take off. I just was like, oh, it'll be fine. Because in the morning, it was like, I'm queasy and I have a really bad headache. That's what it was before. But like the body soreness started kicking in and it was yucky. But
Oh, yeah.
it's infinitely better than dying of COVID. Everyone should go and get their booster shots.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I still got to go do that. I couldn't
Yeah.
before because I didn't have my card with me. But now I have it, so hopefully soon.
Yeah, thankfully everyone in my house is 100% fully vaccinated and as fully immunized as the vaccine can make us. And I can safely say, the morning after the booster shot, you feel like you're being rolled around in the back of a cement mixer. It is no fun at all. And when I got the booster, the next day we had company coming over to run D&D. So, and I was the DM. So I had to just kind of sit there and be like, all right, I'm sorry if this session doesn't make any fucking sense. I am hopped up on Tylenol and Spite right now, so if I pass out in the middle of session, you know why.
Yeah. Did you lose your Constitution saving throw?
I lost my Constitution saving throw when I was born.
You had a skill check DC of 10 to even get born, and you got it with advantage on your third try.
Sounds like the barbarian in my campaign. Anyway.
Let's talk
about lesbians.
Related. So my wife and her best friend, are their D&D session. You were talking about a barbarian who sucks at Constitution. So my wife is playing a druid who has a high intelligence stat because she is a researcher and she has been researching all of the things to try and et cetera, her background. And her best friend is playing a wizard with a really high wisdom because she's a hermit and has been living out amongst nature for the past 30 years. And I wanted to be like, scratch that, reverse it. But part of me was like, the D&D has so many rules. There are no rules. It is my job as DM to roll with it. So whatever. You're going to be a studious druid and you're going to be a nature savvy wizard. Whatever.
At that point, you say, all right, now teach each other spells.
Right? That's actually kind of cool. Maybe I'll do that, and like just as a bonus because it's D&D and there's so many rules. There are no rules. Like who says that Summer might not have studied a really cool spell that she can't do and she can teach it, and that's actually really cool. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, in my campaign right now, the Goliath Shadow Sorcerer is essentially one of the 4 top dogs in the goddess's army and has access to druid spells because of it.
Nice.
D&D is fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to run it. The other thing I did this week related to D&D is I made the character sheets for toddler D&D because Scarlett was really upset that we were playing a game that she couldn't play. So I figured out a way to do it. There are like elementary school kid rules for D&D available for free on their website. And
nice.
So I took that and dumbed it down even farther. So I'm sharing it here in the creations corner right now so everyone can see it. But I will be posting it. I'll like put a link to it or whatever. It's pretty cure themed because that's what Scarlett asked for. So that's why it says we are pretty cure across the top. But so I put it all in words that she knows. So instead of your character's appearance, it's your outfit. Then you have your cure name and your powers. Powers being obviously like what your powers are, but that's like a stand-in for your bio and those sorts of things. The kind of answer she gives me there will let me pick her class and put all of the numbers in, and I'll make all of that up. And so then you have defend for armor class, move for speed, health for HP, bubble she can fill in and erase to keep track of her HP, her regular attack, and then her special move, whatever that is. She gets to come up with a special move. I get to figure out the rules of how it works. And then I simplified the stats down to 4. You have and it's all how blank are you? So how strong are you? And you get a modifier. How fast are you? You get a modifier. How smart are you? And you get a modifier. And how cool are you? And you get a modifier. And it's pretty cool. And I'm pretty excited for it. So the day after we do regular D&D with all of the rules, that next morning we're going to be doing toddler D&D with Scarlett about Pretty Cure, and it's pretty exciting.
Fun.
That is absolutely adorable, and I love that.
Yeah. So I'll let everyone know how both of those goes. That'll be on the 17th and 18th when we do those. So speaking of lesbians, let's talk about some lesbians. So let's listen to the final boss track, 1 of 3, and then we'll talk about our plot for the week. Again, like last week, I forgot to take notes because I was enthralled and then never went back to write it off the Let's Play. So we're winging it again, but a lot happens, but it's all feelings, so not a lot of like plot-wise happens, so we should be fine. So the first thing that you do when we load up the game for the week is you binge all of the side quests in the game, of which there are a shit fuck ton.
Oh yeah, there are a ton of side quests. Yeah. I was thankful that when I loaded up this week, I had done most of them by that point, and I only had like 5 or 6 more to go, half of which were crafting quests.
Yeah. So you can beat the game with 1,000 bond points from doing side quests. There are 1,500 bond points in the game. So there's another half a game's worth of side quests left over for you at this point, assuming you've just been doing the minimum. So you do a lot of those.
I didn't even think about it like that. That it's like another half a game.
Yeah.
Wow.
The crafting side quests suck the most because they lead into each other, so you can't like do them all at the same time, because you to get the lyrical bell, you have to have done the previous crafting quest so that you can crack the lyrical bell to get the thingy to be able to get the charming tattoo or whatever the fuck it is. And it just, I saved them for last, looked up where the one piece I was missing was, and did it that way. And it's annoying. But
like 5 browser tabs open, like, this is where the monsters are. This is what the monsters will drop. This is what you need to craft these items.
yeah. I used mostly the in-game help for all of those things. The only one I didn't do is the drop tables because they don't have that in game. So I found a helpful game facts thread that had all the drop tables for all the items everywhere. But after you do all of that, you go to bed, and Hina is like sad because she knows that you have one more fight with Sephiroth, and once that's over, it's over, and Yuzu and Lime are not going to be around anymore. Full disclosure, I enjoyed this ending, but I didn't love this ending because we never followed up on why Lime was an asshole. Like, they gave it lip service of like, oh, she actually cares about you, I promise, and then, oh, I'm dead. And like, if I sit and think about it, it's like, oh, she knows that everyone's going to lose their memory, so she doesn't care if she hurts their feelings right now because they can get fragments and save the world and move on like that. But character development wise, she never really overcame that, and they just kind of came to an agreement of it. So all of this whinging about, oh, I'm not going to get to be friends with Lime anymore, I'm like, fucking good. Who gives a shit? But that's just me. I do agree all the time. She said that she's losing Yuzu, but
I definitely agree with that, though.
Yeah.
But the only reason I'm sad that I'm losing Lime is because she is ridiculously strong.
Yeah, like gameplay wise, and like all of the times that she is in her magical girl uniform are good and great, and I love her. But outside of it, she's the bitchy one. And like at here later we'll get to it. Like, it says that she's the girly one, and I'm like, where? Like, she's obviously like the bitchy one, and Yuzu is so sweet. But no, Yuzu is the one that's like into all of the action and craziness, and Lime is supposedly the sweet girly one, and it's weird.
I guess you could argue in terms of appearance and like because of the whole bear thing, but even that doesn't hold up much.
Yeah, it's weird. The characterization they were trying to give for these characters blindsided me when it was made text at the end. But so the next day, Hina goes into class like right away. She's just like, oh, what am I going to do about it? I don't know. Thankfully, we have a while, but like, she's not even into class yet, and the Sephiroth shows up. She's like, oh, I guess the final battle is now. I was having feelings, but I guess I don't get to have those feelings. I just gotta come up with a decision right now. So the Sephiroth that shows up is the first one we fought because it's like poetry, it rhymes. And so the girls show up, and we're like, okay, cool, let's go and fight it. But Hina is very like, she says ellipses a lot in this cutscene. She is not excited about it. She's also the last of the three of them to transform. She's dragging her feet completely. The girls are like, come on, let's do this. And Hina's like, okay, fine, I guess. And the battle starts. And it's not too hard. I thought so. Hina gets a special move called, I think it's Lumiere Cancer is the one where it's like her third strongest slash move, and so it's already really strong, but it also ignores defense. So my strategy for the rest of the game was if on your turn you can buff Hina, buff Hina. If you can't, ether charge. If you have 90% ether charged, do a combo attack using as many buff Hinas as you can, so that when it gets to Hina's turn, she can Lumiere Cancer for maxed out 99999 damage, and I think I said one too many nines, but 10,000 damage. Each of these final bosses only had like 25,000 to do. I think the final boss had 50,000, but between those, it took me like 45 seconds basically to beat all of them, because Hina is a freaking powerhouse, and it became not hard. I'm sure if I was like normally doing it also wouldn't be terribly hard. The final boss potentially could have been, but I think I only made it hard because I was every turn like not healing and not doing damage. I was ether charging or buffing, so because of that I was in more danger than normal. But yeah, I broke the game a little bit.
That's entirely okay. My strategy for the rest of the game is something very similar.
Mm-hmm.
I have Yuzu set up to for her Opportune Lichy, which is the attack that buffs your allies' luck, to also buff their attack and defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I use that on Lime. Lime has the most fragments out of all of my characters. And I have the fragment on her that says, this attack gets more powerful based on the number of equipped fragments.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fun.
So I noticed that you deal a lot of pointless damage. Like, even if you do, like, you know, the 10,000 that fully buffed Hina can do, or the 35,000 that my Lime did with one overdrive, it still stops moving the health bar, like 26,500 HP remaining. And then it plays the little cutscene that has it moving closer, and then wash, rinse, and repeat until the thing is dead.
But yeah, so it shows up and we beat the ever living crap out of it, and it dies real hard. But when you get to where normally it would pop on screen for you to do the reflect counter to kick its ass, the Citrus Sisters turn around and are like, all right, here you go. Where's your anime badass moment? Like, let's see it. Like, what you got this time? The last couple have been really fucking cool. What do you got? And Hina goes, no. And she runs away. And we're like, what? And she goes, if I defeat the Sephira, both of you will disappear from my life, and I don't want that to happen. So it fades to black, and Hina's at home. And I couldn't tell if this next scene, like, actually happened or was, like, in their head or something, because you don't actually see them leave and turn away from the boss or reflect it or anything. It just fades to black and then fades in, and everyone's wearing new clothes that they haven't worn before, and the Citrus Sisters are at Hina's house. I think it actually did happen because of how we get out of the scene, but coming into the scene, I was very, very confused.
Yeah, same.
Especially because it's brand new outfits for everybody, and they're adorable.
Yeah, really fucking adorable.
It's super great. So the girls show up and they say that they want to go out on a lesbian date with us, because the whole game you can talk to the Citrus Sisters every free time and you get a little scene with them every time, but you never actually take them out on a date, never do anything. And so now they want you to, they want to do that with you. And so you go out to watch a movie. The girls talk about how they don't ever watch movies. They only watch anime. And that's where it tells us that Lime watches cutesy girly stuff and Yuzu watches actiony stuff. And it's weird. Can't does not compute. But then they go out for parfaits, and they are having a grand old time, just hanging out and everything, and it's great. So then when you get back home, Yuzu and Lime are like, oh, we just really wanted to cheer you up and hang out with you so that you would have good memories of us. And they're like, we don't want to disappear either. We definitely don't want to be disappeared. We don't want to disappear from your memories specifically, but we're already dead. So us being able to make memories with you whatsoever is already a miracle. So we wanted these memories to be good ones. Even if you lose them, we want, like, this is magic. We're going to make the magic be the best of what it is. And they say that even if we lose our memories, beautiful moments like this will be carved into our hearts. And we want you to cherish these moments with us. And then Lime was like, besides, don't you think it's really cool that we're like secret magical girls that secretly save the world? Like, yeah, nobody will know, but like we did that. Like slay queen, we did it. we saved the world. It's all us, and nobody was around to see it, and that's pretty cool. And let's see. And so Hina's still like, but I don't want to lose you. And they're like, oh, think of all of the friends that you've made along the way. They'll still be here. Like, yes, you'll have to like start over and be their friends again, but they'll still be here, even though we'll be gone. So I know that you'll be taken care of. And so then they ask Hina point blank to please save the world and everybody in it as their final wish. So saving them is not their wish. Don't break our wishes and try and save us. We want you to save everyone else. Hina starts to protest, but they're like, bye-bye, see you tomorrow. You don't get to say anything. We're not going to let you weasel out of this. We're out of here. So then the next day after classes, Hina is like feeling her feelings, staring out the window, trying to decide what to do. And Kay comes up and is like, don't worry, we all have your back. And sometimes it helps if you just need to vent. So if you need to talk to us about anything, like, that's what we're here for. And Hina's like, thank you. And she's like, I guess just staying here and not doing anything won't do any good. So you then get to walk around the whole school and talk to people. Apparently, because so the whole game, they teach you that you can fast travel. If you press the trigger button, it pulls up your map and you can go to wherever it is listed there. And they're in an order, like from top to bottom. The top one being the rooftop. So I was like, look at all of these events that I have. I can go and do all of the things. Let me do the first one, which is Mao's, which is the one that starts everything. So I don't know if everyone else's starts everything or if Mao starts it and I missed out on a bunch of other stuff.
Mao starts it.
Damn it. I missed out on 11 scenes.
So I managed to do Sanai, Kaori, Shihori, Sarasa, Fumio, and Akko. And then I went, okay, I'll just hit. Why does it say I'll have something on the rooftop? I'll just hit the rooftop, and then whatever happens after whatever happens there, I'll go talk to Yuri. And then it went into cutscene mode, and I'm like, no, don't do this to me. I haven't saved since I started this.
Oh no.
Yeah. So
everything started, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I have doubled my save, so if I want to go back and see it, I will. But I don't know if I will, because, like, as I was saying before we started recording, I only have story content left, and grinding through the dates is a lot, and Second Light is already out. If this was if I still had time to wait before Second Light, I would absolutely get those to get me hyped. But Second Light is out. I can just go to the next part of the story. Hina's in Second Light. Like, things keep going. It's not like the anime is a alternate retelling of the same kind of vibes, but Second Light is what happens to Hina next. So sorry about the content that I missed. I'm never going to watch it.
Yeah, basically every time you talk to one of them, you get this little scene, and then you get one last fragment from them.
Wow. It's fragments too? Jesus Christ. Uncalled for. I missed out on 11 fragments. Anywho, so when you make it to the rooftop, Mao is there, and she's mean to you, even if you become friends over your dates, which I don't even know if you become friends or not. But she's still mean to you because that's the kind of friendship you have. And she lays it out really simple. She's like, if you defeat it, they die. I know, that's sad. But if you lose, they die too. And all of us. So it's really not a choice, because they die all the time. There's no way around this. And Hina's like, yeah, but I don't know. And Smal's like, then fine, give me the reflector power, and I'll go fucking do it, since you're a little bitch and you can't fucking step up to the plate when the world fucking needs you. The shittiest superhero in the fucking world. And he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? How could you say that? And Mao's like, what? Like, you're not being respectful of their wishes. They told you, they did this whole thing for you to be able to defeat the Saphira, and here you are not wanting to do it. Like, you're not listening to them. You're an asshole. And Hina's like, well, you got me there, I guess. And Hina's like, well, what if I just reflect it back always? Like, what if instead of killing it, I just keep reflecting it? It's the last one. We know which one it'll be every time. We'll reflect it, and we'll keep living about our lives. And Mao is like, but what if, because every time you reflect it, it comes back stronger? What if it comes back stronger and stronger and ends up killing one of your friends? Like, then you are your indecision to destroy it right now for good would be the direct cause of one of your friends dying. And Hina's like, just stop. Like, I know what you're saying, but it's hard. And I was like, no buts, move forward. And then she stalks off. And as she's leaving, she goes, you remember what you told me? You said you had faith in everyone's wishes. Can you still say that? Hina's like, well, she goes, when are you going to grow up? There are only two options left at this point. Either defeat the Sephira and grant their wish, or the Sephira wins and we all die in despair. That's it. Pick one. That's your responsibility. And at that moment, the Zephyr shows up a little bit stronger this time. But again, I beat the shit out of it. Really,
Went down like a bitch.
Yeah. As it shows up, Hina does finally decide to she's like, okay, I'll kill it for you guys. Let's do it. When she shows up to the battle, she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know how you really felt. I couldn't make up my mind, but I've made my decision now. I'll fight this world that you two once. I'll fight for this world that you guys used to live in. So please lend me your strength. They hug before the fight, and they say this is our final battle, but they're lying.
I said it was our final battle. You know, like a liar.
Yeah. So again, I broke it and I beat it real fast and real easy. DS, you are not nearly as overpowered as we are. Were these bosses hard for you at all?
A little bit. They weren't too bad.
Okay.
I feel like there was one boss in chapter 7 that gave me trouble, but then after that it wasn't too bad.
Okay.
What level were you when you beat the game out of sheer curiosity?
I don't remember off the top of my head, to be honest.
Because I know the max level in the game is 50.
Yeah, I don't think I was quite there. I was pretty close. I wasn't too far off.
Okay.
So this time when we destroy it and we do our reflect counter, Hina pulls out her PlayStation 2 and starts playing Shadow of the Colossus and runs up this giant thing's body, slashing and destroying things as she goes because she's a big ass badass and it's fucking cool. And she finishes off with cutting off its fucking head like a just fucking coolest shit ever, and it explodes as it hits the ground, as it does, and it's super cool. So after the fight, like after she does that, she just lands like still looking forward where the thing used to be, and she's just like, well, this is it, like goodbye Yuzu and Lime, I'll always miss you. And they're like, sup, hey, we're still here, still alive and shit. And Hina's like, what the fuck? And they're like, I think maybe this means the battle isn't over because time didn't reset. Don't know what's up. And then Sanai and Sarasa run out and they're like, we have a huge problem. Everyone in the school is disappearing and we don't know why. And Lime's like, what the fuck? Wait, what the fuck is that? And over on top of the track field where all of the monsters have been, out comes Lord Zed from Power Rangers.
Oh, I marked down in my notes that it was Shine Greymon burst mode.
Yeah, it is. It is the child of Lord Zed and the Neversoft logo from the PS1 era. It is this big, writhing red mass of eyeballs, teeth, and metal, and it comes down from the sky, and Hina's like, what the fuck is that? That's a Saphira we've never seen before. And Lime is like, yeah, that's the common. That's the pretty place with all the flowers that we've been hanging out. This is what its body looks like. And that's weird. And so it introduces itself as Doth with 2 A's, Daath. And they're like, oh, and Doth is like, oh, you win. You did everything. So now I get to do what I want with the world. Well, last millennia, when I battled with everyone, humans were like in a hunter-gatherer society, so their close-knit like relationships and emotions were very strong and heightened by the fact that like everything was life or death. Nowadays, nothing is life or death. So you guys suck a lot. So even though there's a lot of you, there's actually a lot less power of you. So I've decided for this next millennia, my idea was going to be, instead of fostering a world where I had lots of humans that could grow up, thrive, make relationships, I'm just going to create one really, really big human and just kind of mush everybody together. So hope you're okay with that. I've already started deleting all of your friends to make room for Mega Human. Is that okay? And
I'm just gonna open all of the Play-Doh and mush all of the colors together.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hina is like, how can I put this? Fuck you. That's not living. Like, these are my friends. I'm not going to let you just mush all of my friends together. People's hearts are weak. They are insecure. Like, people do hurt each other, but that just makes friendships better. That's why we connect with people and we love people, because like sadness exists, therefore happiness is better. If you erase all of that by making us one big huge consciousness, that like that's shitty. And even thinking on your terms, like, that's not what you want. Like, the good vibes wouldn't be better because you take away the bad vibes. The good vibes are better because there are bad vibes. So you say this is humanity's next step. That's your wish, but it's not my wish. And Doth is like, so what? You're gonna kill me, and then some new Sephiroth will show up, and there will be no one to oppose them, and they will just like destroy the world, because that, like, I literally have the whole world in my grasp right now because of you guys. I won the Marvel Secret World Wars, and I control all the universes. So like, what the fuck? And Hina's like, well, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to reflect you, because I'm a reflector, and I'm going to send you back from whence you came and keep doing that forever, because fuck you and fuck the horse you rode in on. And Yuzu and Lime come up and they're like, fuck yeah, teamwork, power of friendship. Let's show this motherfucker who's boss. And then they haven't done this, I don't think, before at all, but they draw their weapons still in like the visual novel half of the game, and it looks really fucking cool. It's like the Avenger shot of the game. And then we get the final boss. The final boss hits really hard. I had a couple of times where I had to do a lot of healing, but I was never truly in danger. Like, Lime has a fragment that like ups her aggro, because at one point she had higher defense, and then I never, like, once a fragment got applied to someone, I never moved it. So even though Lime became my squishiest one, she still got attacked the most. But she was the only one that was dying. Like, no one else was really taking any damage whatsoever. But again, it has 50,000 health, so I hit it 5 times with a big ass spear until it died. Each little, like, cause like normally they like, you'll do a lot of damage and it'll immediately respond with a move that doesn't actually do damage. It just knocks you guys back so that it can move forward. It's just a little cutscene part. For the final boss, each of those cutscenes is an actual cutscene. And so the first one, if I can find it in this Let's Play.
I remember what it was if you want me to.
Yeah, go for it.
So, the first one, it pulls out this giant, like, fucking claymore made of darkness. And no, the first one's a scepter made of darkness. And it goes to do something with it, and Hina goes, yeah, no, fuck you. Hits it really hard and shatters the scepter, and it just kind of sits there like, Okay, so you're stronger than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Time to kick it up a notch.
Yeah, he's like, so I guess you possess enough power to actually pose a threat. And he's like, but the battle's just beginning. I could do this all day. And she goes, me too, motherfucker. Let's get it going. And then you get into the second phase of the battle, which, much like the first, I hit it with a big ass spear a lot of times. How was this portion for you, DS?
I thought the ending was really cool. I mean, I wasn't like entirely satisfied with all of it, but like there were a lot of individual cool moments in it.
Yeah.
Hina's moment before like the final fight was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
That's one that stick out to me.
Yeah. So the final section of the fight, much like the first, we beat the crap out of it. The middle cutscene is another just, oh wow, you can beat me, but what about my special move? And she's like, well, fuck your special move. So then, when you finally take it down for real, he makes this giant claymore out of darkness and swings it right towards Hina's little head. And Hina throws up like a big magic-y Captain America shield to reflect it. And it like the Doth is putting so much pressure. It's like burying Hina in the concrete and cracking her shield. And she's like, oh shit, maybe I can't actually do it. But then Doth forgot he's in an anime. We got the power of friendship. So Yuzu and Lime run up and give Hina her spirit bomb energy, and they push back so hard that it reflects Doth, and he flies off into the distance, does an anime twinkle in the sky, and
explodes into glitter.
Explodes into glitter. All awesome. Like so. After the battle, Doth's like, oh, so you were able to repair me, so my child who can reflect my being, I'll never forget the likes of you. Hopefully we'll meet again someday. Yuzu and Lime are like, hey, come sit down on the ground with us. And Hina's like, what the fuck? And they say, when we were little, we would always sit back to back. It would be comfortable anywhere because each person would have back support while they're sitting down. But if someone stands up, then like it sucks for everybody. And Hina then stands up to make it suck for everybody. And it cuts to a FMV, and they're like, Hina, what's wrong? And she's like, you're gonna leave. And they're like, but it's okay. You're gonna be okay. You'll forget everything, so like you won't be sad. And she goes, no, I'll never forget you two. You're my best friends. And I'm like, where? but Hina holds them, and they have this big old gay hug as Yuzu and Lime fade out into nothingness. And right as they're fading out, they say goodbye. The camera pulls back, and they're gone. And Hina's just hugging the air. She then hugs herself and cries, and it's sad. Then she looks up, confused, and is like, what the fuck am I doing out here? And walks back into school. Over Black, we see Yuzu and Lime say, we completed our mission. This is the end, but it's also the beginning of the beginning. And Yuzu's like, this is really scary, isn't it? And Lime's like, yeah, but we'll be fine because we'll be together, like always. And then they say, we'll never forget you, Hina. It comes back up the next day. the next day being the first day of school again, and Hina is making her way into class, and as she's walking in, she looks down at her hands and is like, where the fuck did I get this ring from? This morning I put it on because it's like a good luck charm or something, but I don't actually know where I got it from. And then she makes it her way to the gates of the school, and as she looks up, she hears Yuzu and Lime say her name, and she goes, Yuzu? Lime? And she's like, I made a wish from the bottom of my heart that I would never, ever forget you. And my wish came true. And credits. And that's the ending. So let's listen to this credit song, and then we'll talk about our memorable moments of the week, of the whole game, our thoughts, all of that jazz.
風がほら騒いでるさよならの時が来たそれぞれの明日へと今もまだ夢は終わらない黒板の文字
Yeah. So, what were some of y'all's favorite bits about this week?
I mean, I won't even lie. The ending made me tear up a tiny bit.
Same.
Yeah, I really liked it, but I wasn't as attached to Yuzu and Lime as characters as I was like Yuri and Shihori and people like that. So it didn't hit me as hard.
I don't disagree, but I think for me it was more just because like Hina wanted to remember them, and for a good minute or so I was not sure if she was going to.
And like I didn't think she was going to, because I was curious if Blue Reflection's Second Light was if it was an Ys or a Final Fantasy. So if it was going to be a brand new story, same song, different verse, or if it was going to be the next bit. And so I saw Hina's thing on their website, and on the website it says a mysterious girl who's lost her memory. So I was like, oh, she's not going to remember them. So when she did, I was like, oh, interesting. I now have no idea what the fuck the website's talking about, but we'll figure that out when I start playing that game, I guess. What about you, Epsi? What was your favorite bit from this week before we dive in and talk about our overall thoughts?
Well, I have a whole bunch of memorable moments here, but my favorite bit from this whole week probably the final boss exploding into glitter. Like, looking at the other Saphira we killed, she ran it through, she cleaved it in half. What did she do to the tank?
She exploded it, I remember, but I don't remember what she did to explode it.
Oh, right. She fucking Super Sentai Kamen Rider exploded it and looked away and sheathed her weapon.
Yeah.
She decapitated it. And, you are now breathing him.
Yeah. It's glitter.
And then, like, when Yuzu and Lime fade out, they also turn into glitter.
Mm.
And I'm remembering an old joke where it's like, it's okay, Hina, you'll They'll always be a part. They'll always be with you. In my heart? No. In your lungs. Yeah, I have a bunch of other memorable moments here.
Yeah, go for it.
So, for completing all of the side quests in the game, which, unless you're going for the 100% or achievement hunting, I promise you isn't worth it. You get to fight a secret boss.
Oh, yeah.
This secret boss is a common Luke. Like, the first thing Hina fought during the tutorial. Except it's cranked up to, like, a bajillion.
Yeah, it's actually, I don't know if it's absolutely impossible to deal damage to it, but I was fairly maxed out on everything and I couldn't deal damage to it. The only way you can deal damage is by getting a 3 times overdrive combo bob, which then made it really cheesy because that did like 5,000 damage and only has 15,000 health. So you just do that 3 times. It's kind of hard to do that 3 times because he hits like a truck, but
See,
Wow.
what I noticed, it has 15,000 HP. Its first turn, it will power itself up, and then it will discharge and do like 500 damage to someone. But what I noticed about this secret boss is that it had a higher evasion rate for your stronger skills.
Oh, that's interesting.
weird.
So
I haven't fought the boss yet, but
if I attacked it with, bear palm with lime, it would hit and do like 1,300 damage. But if I went to attack it with my ridiculously buffed up raccoon nail, miss.
Weird.
So the weaker the move, the less likely it was to dodge it. So even when I did 3 charge, team blast, hyper, overdrive, mega, whatever, it only about half of Lime's attacks actually hit it. Because my 35,000 wombo combo is Ibis Fang, Boar Hand, I think it's called.
I think
Boar
so. Yeah.
Fist. Boar Fist. Raccoon Nail and Bear Whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, if she's buffed up, that will do around 35,000 damage on top of the King Mole Bear Team Blast. I had to do that twice to actually kill it. Because it completely dodged Ibis Fang, it completely dodged Boar Fist, it completely dodged Raccoon Nail, and it took like... It was ridiculous.
Oh, since I thought it did not take damage at all, I just used the cheap MP costs that it gives you when you're doing an overdrive to buff the shit out of myself using my buffs from my support side as my 3 attacks. And that way it would do ass tons of damage on the damage time. So I just did that 3 times. I used it as the opportunity to do 3 free buffs or heals and then use the special attack at the end of it. I just did that 3 times to win.
That does sound a lot smarter than what I did.
Yeah, it was really hard to survive for the 3rd one, so you only having to do it twice maybe was fine. But
yeah. So moving on here, when the first Sephira showed up, I had forgotten what the first one looked like, and I about choked on my drink.
yeah, it's a big old weird ass thing. Like the rest of them look like Digimon knockoffs, and this is like body horror. Like its face is made out of hands like grasping each other with like a mask on that That's its face. That's what it decided to just have for a face. It then has a face as a torso, but that's just its torso. That's not actually its face.
It also has a face on its crotch.
Yeah. It's
like a face on its crotch, a face on its stomach, a face on its torso, and then the hands that are folded over each other that makes its actual face.
Yeah. And it crawls around on all fours, not including the aforementioned like 50,000 hands that it has. But it's
disgusting.
It's a lot.
So earlier when you had said, Hina just fucking cuts its head off, I was like, which head?
Yeah. Well, I had been using Grape Wave for its knockback to help me survive a little bit better. So because I had done that, its other heads had already exploded because those are trash mobs. So it only had one head left to cut off.
Yeah, I really, really liked how during that second to last, the first fight with that particular Sephira, you can just kind of see, like, even during the fight, that Hina's just not with it.
Uh-huh.
Like, she just kind of looks defeated during everything. And it's like, oh, you poor thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was very excited to be able to finally go on a date with the Citrus Sisters.
Mm-hmm. That whole date is a memorable moment. It's adorable after adorable after adorable.
Oh yeah. I have written here, I like how the Citrus Sisters' idea for making Hina less sad about having to say goodbye is to spend even more time together to make her even more sad to say goodbye.
Yeah, that's what it is, right? We don't want you to forget us, so we're going to have even more great memories that you get to forget.
When you hop back into the school after, giving up on the fight the first time, mm-hmm. You will open up your phone and you have messages there from Yuzu and Lime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just... These messages are just super sweet, and, like, they both made me ugly cry.
Aww.
Like, Yuzu's, I cut off the first message because I couldn't fit it on the screen, but what I have in this screenshot says, Getting to be friends with you made me really, really happy, but I've got to say goodbye now. I have something I need to do. But I just want to say one thing. We love you, Hina.
Yeah.
And then it's a screenshot of Limes, but looking back, it's just as emotionless as she normally is. So,
yeah, this ending really pulled one over on you two to make you care about Lime as a character.
I really enjoyed the fact that Sam, you didn't get to enjoy this, but take a victory lap around the school and talk with all our girlfriends again.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention earlier when I brought this up, you get a little cutscene with them, you get a fragment, and you get one last message of encouragement from them in your table chat.
And I went to Mao first.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Like, Sarasa's is probably the one that, out of the ones that I did get to do, Sarasa's was probably my favorite because she just messages you and says, "Keep going, my Etoile. You're not you when you're not shining." And it's like, that's fucking adorable. This one might just be me associating things weird, but when Kay was like, sometimes it helps to vent to just get things off your chest, I just heard the the soundbite from SpongeBob. Just do what I do when I have problems. Scream! I took note of the fact that I was killing bosses way too fast.
Yeah, I, it kind of annoys me that like you can't stock up damage for the next chunk. Where like if the next chunk starts at 25,000 and you knock it down to what would be 22,000, it starts at 25,000 anyways, and that's annoying because I wanted to kill it even faster.
Yeah, I would have killed it much faster if I didn't realize that I was killing it too fast and that it was not taking 35,000 damage and instead taking something along the lines of like 3,500. Like literally a tenth of the damage Lime was doing just wasn't being counted. And that was kind of upsetting in the moment. I have marked down that decapitates the thing, calling the final boss Gallantmon Crimson mode, we had the one that was Gallantmon Crimson mode, and the final boss is Shine Greymon Burst mode. Well, the sign that I put on my door just fell off. I'm assuming that's what that noise was. My roommates bought me a dry erase board to put on my door to be like, hey, I'm working, don't come in here.
That's good.
It fell off my door. The speech that Hina gives in the face of the literal embodiment of human emotion is very corny and very anime, but very good.
Yeah, I noticed that there were like a lot of tropes and stuff, but it wasn't done horribly.
Not at all. When I was fighting the final boss, I didn't attack with anyone but Lime. I just let Lime do all of the work. And 4 overdrives killed the boss.
Wow.
It helps that even without nailing the crit, by the time I was dealing this much damage, considering the fact that she also has a fragment on that boosts her damage against Saphira, and I think Doth counts as a Saphira, she was dealing max damage without the crit and without being fully buffed. So she was just cranking out 20,000 damage a turn. And it was so nice. Maxing out Lime's attack status. Definitely. I love the fact that the final boss just explodes into glitter. And then I just have a joke written here of, do you remember your best friends that helped you save the world with your lesbian girlfriend harem? Pepperidge Farm remembers. That's what I've got.
Nice.
I'm very glad to have been able to save the Pepperidge Farm joke.
It's good. So I love Shihori a lot. Her final date is a little problematic because they're in their underwear for a lot of it. But imagining that they're not, it's kind of really cute because so imagine these were college kids, and they were fully clothed for this. But Shihori finally fucking goes through with it and tricks Hina into switching underwear with her. And when Hina confronts her about it, she goes rampant, and she's like, "What the fuck? Like, is she mad that I'm confronting her?" But no, she's like just happy that she finally got to make her move on Hina, because she's a big old dumb old lesbian, and it's amazing. And I ship it really hard, and I really enjoyed it, despite it being.
So they actually kind of acknowledge it.
Yeah, Hina is like, she basically gives lip service to being like, I'm not like that, and I didn't know she felt that way, and I'm not going to say what that way is and do all of those things. And she ends up like rejecting Shihori, and Shihori is like really bummed about it. But then Shihori resolves at the end of it, is like, no, one of these days I'll make you fall for me, Hina. And it just was all around a great time. Again, this game should not be about 14-year-olds. Like, the game would be great if these were all adults. And it sucks for that reason. But that was my biggest one. Otherwise, I was just grinding out side quests. What about you, Desert? Did you have any more to?
I don't think any that you haven't mentioned. I mean, I agree with like a lot of what you said, like the decapitation and all of that. Mao is like that whole bit was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly how to feel, because like she's not wrong, but Hina has to process her emotions also. I don't know. I think that's it.
Yeah, I really like how, as much as Mao is unarguably probably the second biggest bitch in this game,
Mm-hmm.
she has her own way of helping, and I like how her way of helping kind of breaks free of a lot of tropes that this kind of game and genre of anime have.
Yeah, like she has good intentions.
She has good intentions, but horrendous execution.
Yeah. All in all, I really enjoyed this game, and it's really frustrating to me that, because like, I was really invested in Persona 3 when Persona 3 then was very transphobic, and it kind of ruined the experience. But I had like 40 hours of gameplay that I had already played to be like, oh, you know what? Like, it's okay. I'm going to ignore this and pretend that it's the one from the anime, where instead it's Sexy Teacher from Persona 4, which is also problematic, but it's a different kind of problematic. So I'll just pretend that that's the scene that happened there and continue and have everything great. But this game puts its Operation Babe Hunt in chapter 2. It's like right there, and like, I do not fault Eli and Jen for not playing the rest of the game. Having played the rest of the game, I really enjoyed the rest of the game, but much like they said, I don't know if I could thoroughly recommend it to anyone because the part you have to get through and put up with and all of that is right at the beginning, and it's pretty gross. And then there's mild grossness throughout, and it really sucks because this game is great. I have heard that Second Light is not nearly as gross in these regards as this game is. So hopefully I don't have to sit through that again. But I liked this game too much for it to have all these problems. And we've talked highly of the game for the past several weeks, so I did not want to let people forget that we're not letting it off the hook for its grossness about teenage girls.
Oh yeah.
It's just, if you can manage to sit through that, like if you grew up watching Ramna One Half and Tenchi Muyo, you can probably get through this. But we shouldn't have to. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I'm very glad it didn't get worse. But you know, it did happen, and it's not cool, but
yeah,
you know,
it sucks. And be aware that if you want a really cool persona like that feels a lot like a Precure show that has surprisingly like real like relationships about teenage girls. Like while Summer was watching over my shoulder, she a lot of times was like, oh, like been there, done that, like for most of these girls' relationships, and it's super cute and hilarious the whole way through. Like this game exists for that, but you kind of have to be able to turn off your brain until you can get past the mandatory bath scenes, so that then you can pick to go to sleep instead of taking a bath for the rest of the game. And if you do that, besides that one scene in Shihori's where they're in their underwear, there was basically nothing else the whole rest of the game. So it's like you get through Kei's chapter, you choose to go to sleep instead of taking a bath, and you're golden. The rest of the game is actually really wholesome and really great. They just put that shit out on Front Street for some reason, and it sucks. And that sucks. But I think Gust broke into the mainstream with Ryza, and I don't think they want to fuck that up anymore by making weird ass pervy games. And I think in the future it'll just be normal male gazy instead of pandering to the sorts of people this opening of this game was pandering to, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's heading in the right direction at least.
Yeah.
Or it seems that way.
Yeah, I'll report back if Second Light is just as bad, but no one has been talking about it in either direction, which means it's probably a non-issue in it. Because this game, for instance, you have people saying, "Oh, it's not that bad." People are freaking out over nothing, and you have people saying, "Oh my God, this is child porn," which means it's probably somewhere in the middle. But Second Light, everyone's just like, "I liked this game," so it's probably a non-issue there. But yeah, I'll let people know if that is not the case.
I haven't looked into Second Light very much at all, but I've watched one review of it, I think, and yeah, I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah. But
yeah, on the topic of the gross stuff, I am personally like, it's gonna sound weird to say it like this, but I'm kind of glad that it was that early on, because it would have sucked to put 30, 40 hours into a game, get to like the second to last scene, and then suddenly there's gross.
Yeah.
So I'd rather it get out of the way early on so that you can enjoy the rest of the game for what it is, if you can make it past it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing that sums up my frustrations with the grossness in this game is this game came out on Vita, and I enjoy playing my pod games on the Vita as often as possible, my Vita or my Switch, so that I can be grinding out what I need to do for the week while Summer is watching TV or in bed at night or at work or whatever. Like, that's how I prefer to do it. And so I saw there was a Vita version, but it's only in Japanese. So I looked up to see if the Vita version had a translation patch, and the only translation patch available for the Vita version is also a nudity mod that changes all of the bra textures into naked boobs for these underage girls. And it's like,
that is disgusting.
Like, no, god damn it. And it's so frustrating that, like, obviously this is pandering to those kind of people, and those kind of people have taken it and ran with it. And it's just like, god damn it. Like, I just want a non-problematic, wholesome ass magical girl RPG. So if you're listening, the studio behind Pretty Cure, I forget what it is off the top of my head, you should make a Pretty Cure persona like and keep it wholesome and just make it for the female gaze, because the female gaze is better than the male gaze. And like, your only competition in the magical girl RPG space is the 25-year-old Sailor Moon RPG and Neptunia and this game, and that's it. Like, it's a big thing. You could do it, and you're so wholesome and great and awesome, and I love you, and you should just do that. The Pretty Cure setup is perfect for a video game. You have monsters of the week, and you hang out and you build friendships with your other cures. It's literally Persona. Just do that and do it in game form and pump it straight into my veins. Please and thank you.
Something I've noticed is that if something works as a TTRPG, it typically works as a JRPG.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. So speaking of Pretty Cure, come join us next week, where we will be discussing the first Pretty Cure All-Stars movie, which is Pretty Cure All-Stars DX Mina Tomodachi something. But it's Pretty Cure All-Stars, Everyone is Friends Now. Subtitle of whatever the movie's about. And we are going to watch that one. If you have no idea anything about Pretty Cure, that's fine. I will only know one of the 5 shows represented there. I figure having no context for more things will make us just be able to focus on how cute it is and be way harder for me to write notes. So that'll be fun. Eli will be back for that one. So Eli will be here. Eli has a big announcement to make that night. So make sure you come and check that one out. And then we will then take a couple of weeks off, because it would feel weird trying to start something like Christmas week. So when the new year starts, we will be starting our next block. We'll announce what our next block is on the movie night one. Right now, the winner, unless something changed, I'll bring it up just to see, but it was unanimous to be Suikoden 2 last time I checked, and it is still unanimous. So more than likely, unless all my Wild Arms fam comes out and votes, it's very likely we will be playing Suikoden 2 for our next block. But voting will officially end when we record the movie night episode. So yeah, if you like Wild Arms more than Suikoden and you want us to play that, you should head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any donation will unlock the poll for you, and you can go in there and show Wild Arms some love. and tip the scales back in its favor. But I think that's it. Shout out to Jimmy the Shovel from Discord. He's been giving us talking points, and I've not been citing my sources, but he did mention that the website, how it said that Hina lost her memory. Everybody lost their memory in Second Light. That's the plot of the game, is everyone lost their memory, and you have to figure that out. So the fact that I only clicked on Hina, I thought it was a big special thing about her and the ending of this game, but no, that's just the beginning of the next game. He also mentioned that Second Light doesn't have a big like an Operation Babe Hunt thing. It just has leering camera angles. So skip this game and play Second Light if you want a magical girl RPG. Everyone lost their memory, so it's probably okay to just start in the middle. I don't know if it is, but if that sort of thing skeeves you out, play the second one, and that's fine. And Jimmy has also had great discussion the whole way through the whole time we've been playing. Has had lots of great discussions. So shout outs to you, Jimmy. And yeah, I think that's it. So for RPG Book Club this week, I have been Sam Allman.
I am Epsy Seraphin.
And Desert Stream.
Toodaloo, everybody. Thank you guys. Thank you, Epsy and Desert Stream, for coming in clutch and with zero preparation, signing on for a 6-week project with me. It was great. The show must go on, as they say. And you guys definitely came through for me.
I had fun, and I'm looking forward to getting to watch a Pretty Cure movie.
Awesome. Toodaloo, everybody.
I certainly tried.
Oh, what was that, Desert Stream?
I certainly tried.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.
God, this music is so good.